That's why I got the wrong.
Hello everyone, welcome to this week's webinar, How to Play with Your Noodle. Now some of you might have your mind in the gutter when we make that topic, but that's why we made it that way. So we'd like to thank Medicus Golf and KickX Golf for being our sponsors for these webinars. We're here at Tiffany Green's Golf Club in Kansas City, Missouri, Brenndan and I. And we'd also like to say, in case you didn't know, Leonard Nimoy today died, Commander Spock, so he did live long and prosper. Hope he's not going to live much, he's not living any longer, but let's hope he's still prospering. So let's get started on how to use just normal swimming pool noodles to build training stations, what you can use those with.
Oh yeah, you can do all sorts of fun stuff with these things. So, just I'm sure a lot of you have kids and just steal theirs, because I know down here at our performance center I keep stealing my sons and they keep getting tore up. But
right.
Just right out of the gate, a couple real easy ones that you can do if you're somebody that has some path issues, whether you're coming too far in to out or have a tendency to come too far from out to in. You can use this on the ground and just try to dodge it, just depending on what your problem is.
Right. So let's say I was set up pretty square, okay, and let's say that I was swinging a little bit outward to inward, I would hit that thing.
Right.
And if I was swinging too much inward to outward, then I would hit the front of it, or the ball would hit it. Make sure when you place the ball, though, that you don't go any farther than back of the middle, because if you get back here too far, you might actually hit the end of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can use it on the ground like that. You can also use it in the air if you build a little stand like one of our members did.
Yeah, so if you have, and I'm sure, we all have seen us use these driveway stakes all the time, but the good thing with these noodles is you can punch holes through them and do whatever you want to with them. But if you build a little stand, then it's going to have to be, kind of use your imagination if we're still sticking these in the ground.
You can just stick this in the ground, so let me get rid of this one. And let's say we had a golf ball down here. All right, so if I set up this golf ball, and the first thing I want to look at, again, is if I'm coming too much this way, I could hit that. But let's say I wanted to work on the path that my hands were working on. So now what I might do is I'd set up, and I would put myself at impact. Make sure you set up at impact properly here. All right, you want to place this, 2 to 3 inches away from your hands, because when you go back to address, obviously it's going to be more this way. And then you can curve this whatever amount you want to curve it. So when you come down and strike this ball, the idea is to come down under this and not on top of it. So as you hit that ball, you can then start making your hand path go more left. If you come down and you miss the first part, but your hands start working out, then your shaft is going to hit that as well.
Yeah.
Now we can also take that, let me do it this way so they can see. You can take that and curve it, right? So if you're trying to move your hands on more of a curved path like this, I'll show you, that's what it looks like there. Looks dead straight there, but it isn't, it's curved. So you can also set it up on a curve. So depending on how much you want that path to go, whatever direction.
Exactly.
Your hand path.
And another way you can use this is, go ahead and get set up to the ball there, Chuck. If you're somebody that has a tendency to really get active with this back leg here, then there you go. The old Elvis move. Then you can set this thing up whatever height you need it, and now you can practice making some swings, and you want to try not to.
And you want to keep your knees moving along the line,
yep,
instead of this knee moving outward.
Yep.
And some people actually move their left knee a little forward, and some people might need to do that, depending on the level of the player.
Yep.
Better players don't have to do that, but if you set it up just right above your knees, basically, and you make a backswing, you wouldn't want this one kicking out too much, nor would you want the forward one kicking out, because what will typically happen is your pelvis will move forward and you'll get what we call early extension.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
another way to use it. You can also take a club, as Brenndan's done here. I'm going to let him go through this.
Well, this actually, this one is for the type of player that do it face on so you can kind of see. For anybody that has a tendency to really want to throw everything away real quick in the downswing.
Right.
So if you just take a small noodle, this one's black, and I'll kind of come up here so you can see how it's just a small black noodle, and you just let it slide right over your golf club. So now the part you want to try to visualize is now when I make a backswing, that noodle is going to slide down towards the grip end. Now what I want to try to do is I want to feel like I'm going to shoot this noodle off the golf club in front of the golf ball.
Right.
Most times when students will do this, they'll look like that, and it'll fly off way back here.
Right.
So, it's just, again, helping us, we're low point, and, keys and everything else.
Right. So, that'll help you. That'll help you get more of an inline condition with the target side arm and club shaft. And again, when you're pushing it out too quick, and there are times when you want to push it out. I mean, with a driver, you want this to come out just a touch earlier because you're trying to get it on the upswing. But if you took this up and you loaded it pretty good here, the first part of it, there wouldn't be any movement of this going this way at all. From here now, see, it's starting to come down.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not get it up here and hold it all the way, and go over here, because all you do is hit the ball way to the right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's up here. You make your first initial move. It's still down here. Now from here, you are moving it down. It's going to feel like the golf ball, but it'll actually come in line a little bit later.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So we also have, you can use them for balance. Stand on these things, right?
Yeah. There's a longer one here.
So I can put the ball of my foot on here. Make golf swings. Feel like you stay balanced on this. If you keep moving around like this, you need to work on more lower body stability, more core stability. Because again, if I'm up here and I go like this, my foot comes clear off the noodle. So I can do those knee drills we were talking about just by going up here and keeping the pressure into the ground right here, much like we would use one of the crushes for.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So and we did the knee action. We done how the foot. We want to keep the foot down, not coming up. And then we talked about how you keep the hands lower through here instead of them going up and out to the right too quick.
Olay.
Yeah.
We call it the Olay.
So we kind of did the shoot the noodle. Once you cover the steady head part.
Yeah. Again, if you have a alignment rod or you can even have an old golf shaft that you can, again, most of these noodles have a hole in them. But I'm just going to imagine this is a golf shaft. So if Chuck will get set up there, then what you can do is just stick this down in the ground and just let the noodle simply rest on your head. So now when he makes a backstroke, you can see that his head is still on the noodle here. When he comes down to impact, still on the noodle, and then post-impact, and he's going to see his head will slide slightly in front of it, post-impact, and finish.
Yeah, and there's a lot of talk about one of today's players who starts down and is like this. Well, if you get down here, at some point you have to start going back up.
Right.
Right. So the idea would try to keep that movement very, very minimal.
Yeah.
You're going to have some, but you can also do it. Now you go ahead and stand up here. You can also do it where you have this in the ground, and let's say you have let's say you're a player that moves your head too far forward. Put this on the trail side of your head. So when they get to the top and they start down, they have to feel the trail side of the head stay against the noodle. Now, some people like to put it on the forward side, but when you put it on the forward side, what happens, go ahead and take it up, is they can actually push a little forward with the head, and because they're pushing forward with it, it's staying in contact with it, so it's really not quite as effective.
Yeah.
Right? I forgot to say also, if you have any questions, just put them in the sidebar down there, and we're going to get to them here in about 2 or 3 minutes. Let's talk about missing the noodle, the low point.
Yeah.
All right.
And missing the noodle, I mean, we've done this one a lot of times. You can use a golf ball, but since we're playing with noodles today, we're going to use the noodle. So this was my ball that I'm going to hit. Is just lay a noodle down behind it, and again, you can start back here by the back foot, and as you get more used to it, you can slowly get closer to the ball. But if I put it right outside my back foot, now if I go to the top here, obviously I'm trying to make a swing and not hit the noodle. So try to hit golf ball without trying to hit noodle. Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about that last week, where you could also use your very favorite club or your $700 driver. You could set that behind there too.
Yeah.
And that'll help you not miss it. So what you want to do with this noodle is, if you're working on little chips and little pitch shots, leading edge pitch shots with a wedge, you want this to be about 6 inches from the back of the ball to the noodle. And it goes back about 2, and that would be for your wedge 9-iron, your 8-7 6-iron. You want to put this back about 8 inches. Your long iron's about 10. Your driver 12 to 14 inches.
Yeah.
So give yourself some room to start with, but if you're missing the noodle, but striking it between the noodle and the ball, that means you got to move this thing forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Move it up towards the ball.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to cover on this noodle?
No, I don't think that was good noodle talk.
That was good noodle talk. So some of you may have a big noodle, some may have a small noodle. Well, let's see if we have any questions. All right, so Gary, left wrist at impact. Does it stay level, rotate downward, start to break back on plane, or a combination of these? So first we have to define what level is, right? So level just means that your wrist actually is going to be slightly down for this to be level. So this would be level, cocked, uncocked. So at level, you're actually moving from level to uncocked into impact. It's not uncocked, it's moving to uncocked. So it's actually going from bent into level, from level to uncocked.
Yeah.
So that's how the left wrist is moving, and you may have to train yourself to do this. You may have to do just impact drills where your wrist, and I'll do it this direction. So this would be a bent wrist. We certainly wouldn't want to do that. This one would be level, and this one would be uncocked. So you're trying to go uncock. Just here, uncock the wrist downward. When you uncock the wrist downward, it also stops the club from wrapping around too much. If you're not doing that, then the club will have a tendency to wrap around. Your left wrist can bend. As soon as that golf ball's gone, you get over here. It can start bending. There's no problem with that, but it needs to go from cocked to level to uncocked. Yep. Anything else you want to add on that?
No, that's spot on.
Okay, so let's see. I think we have a couple more questions. Hope that answered it for you, Gary. Scott, I have a problem with early extension, head coming off the wall on the downswing, and my path is coming too much in to out. Any drills with the noodle would be appreciated. Okay, early extension. I mean, that's, yeah, you can do the same thing that we just did where we had the 2 sticks behind us with the noodle.
Yeah, put it behind you.
Yeah.
So get you a noodle and just get you some alignment rods. You know, this is kind of fun playing with these, you know that?
Yeah.
So if Chuck gets set up, then you want to just set this, again, stick it in the ground, put it right on the back side there. And that's really going to help you. So you can see how he's staying connected.
You want to feel like you're actually pushing it backwards.
You want to feel like you're trying to bend the noodle on the downswing.
So now there's a chicken and egg theory. Does too much in to out create extension, or does the extension create too much in to out? And it can be both.
Yeah.
So if I am set up and I got my rear on this thing, but my path is too much inward to outward this way, that's going to rock me right over. So what I might feel like I want to do is from here, I want to feel like I'm going left with my core and my left hip, right hip working outward, left hip working inward. But as I go left, I've got to feel the club head stay out. So this would be swinging it down without much body rotation. This is adding a ton of body rotation. And as you can see, as I'm adding this, I'm pushing this back, the club head is still tracking more in to out. So I hope that helped you there, Gary. All right, we have another one here from Scott, I think. Actually, it's from 4-Putt Johnny. I have a putting problem. I would think you would if you 4-putting. How can I use a noodle to eliminate a couple of my putts every hole? Okay.
Noodle drill with the
So, you know, what is the issue? I mean, is the ball starting on line? Are you hitting it at the right speed? Before you can figure out, you need to figure out which one of those it is. All right, is it the distance or is it the direction?
Yeah.
Then you can build your station based on that. I mean, some of the things you might want to do, if you are somebody that takes the putter back a long way, then just stops it right here, you're going to have some control issues, right? If you're not reading the line and you can't get the ball started on line, that's a completely different issue.
Yeah.
But you could lay the noodle down, right? And I don't have a putter right here, but we can do it this way. Just set your putter head against the noodle. Make sure you have it in the ground, all right, stationary to the ground. So as you move this back, let this slide along the noodle, right? And that'll help you keep the stroke. Again, you just have to put something behind it to keep it from rolling. So you could do it that way. So again, if you're having a problem with the path, then you just put the noodle there and you make your putt. If you're having a problem seeing the line, put this on the line you want the ball to start on. And then set up to it again. Now you have your start line and go from there. If your backswing is too long, for example, in your putt, try moving this noodle. Let's say I want to hit this, I don't know, maybe 10 feet. So if I putt this, I'm not going to hit this. If I'm doing this on a 10-foot putt or a 5-foot putt,
yeah,
then just move it in some. And, you know, I mean, there is no rule of thumb because it depends on green speed, but generally, a 10-foot putt is about a 5-inch stroke. So, you know, just set that up to yourself. And again, depends. Some people hit their putts harder than others.
Yeah.
So, but you can use that to either block how far you're taking it back, or you can use it to set your putter up against, so you'll have something to rest it on. And that way, if you keep it on there, at least you know you're not wobbling it inside and outside.
Right. Yeah, you can eliminate that part real quick.
Right. Right. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, that was John. We did all that with the weight shift. No, I have a problem with the weight shift to the left side. Is there a drill with the noodle to help me shift my weight and hit through the ball and not hit the ground? Okay. Yeah, I mean, all you have to do is you take this thing again, but you're only going to have, let's just use this one over here. We'll just use one for this.
Okay.
So, you know, Brenndan, go ahead and get set up. You just take this thing, and again, anchor it in the ground. All right, so that you have this, let's say, against your left hip here. All right. So as he goes up, what he wants to do is make sure he's pushing into this noodle coming down. Right. If he doesn't get to the noodle, that means he's just falling backwards.
Yeah.
Right. So take it up. Now hang back, and you'll see that he'll just fall away from this noodle. All right. So you can angle it on the ground that way to help ensure you're getting some of your weight and some of your pressure on. Okay. Let's see what else we got. I think we got a couple more here. You could try putting to the end of the noodle or a water bottle. It helps to putt at something above the ground, smaller to the hole. Thanks for that, Robbie. We've covered the weight transfer. We've covered the putting. Let me see what else we've got here. Let me go over to my screen, and we'll see what else we got. Okay, we did weight transfer. We did putting. How can I use a noodle to keep me from sliding too forward on the downswing? Well, that's a rare thing. I mean, you could slide too much forward if you went with your whole body. What you want to do is try to keep, and I'll just do it from this angle. So what you want to try to do is set these up originally, you know, so where they're just kind of touching your side or maybe slightly outside of it. If you're going too far forward, you're going to see your head come way forward as well. So what you want to feel is once you get into your pressure into your left hip, you've got to start rotating that hip. So and I'll put my hands up here. So you'll see that my knee is going that way, so I've got pressure over there now. Now my left hip just starts rotating. And especially with the driver, it may feel like it's actually rotating back more because you want to hit up with it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's see what other ones we have here. I think we have a couple more. Okay, we covered that one from Scott. We covered 4-putt. Pretty good handle there, Johnny. 4-putt. Okay, and could you please show the hand path setup again? Yep. All right, so if we're going to work on the hand path, now I'm going to show you. This time I'm going to actually arc it this way. And so once he sets up the ball, go ahead and go to fix impact. Here's his impact lines. Now I'm going to put this just above where his hands went at impact. So now he goes back to address. You can see the hands are a little bit farther inside. So now as he goes up, now he comes down, and we start working the hand path to the left in this case. So where you don't hit those. So you can set it up straight, or you can set it up on an arc. All right, just make sure the arc isn't too sharp.
Yeah. It's not going to be.
It's not going to be like that. Okay. It's going to be more along this arc. All right, and again, if you just stood on a plane board and you went up, how much is that arc? Well, with the Vision Track Pro, it's 11 degrees.
Yeah.
So you would have this arc at 11 and 11. So you'd be going here, impact, and you're going to exit on that same 11-degree angle.
Yeah.
So, all right, let me see if we got any more. I think that's it. Okay, I think that is it. All right, well, we want to thank you all for coming out. Thank you for all the questions. We hope we got to them. If you need more in-depth answer, you can shoot us an email. We'd be happy to answer those and give you some more information. We probably have a video on it somewhere that might be a little more clear. But until next week, we want to thank you all for coming out. And see you, Spock.
I can't do it.
Yeah, you can't do it.
I can't do it.
No talent.